Hello everyone, and in today's video I'll be talking about planning focus, explain its basics, followed by explaining the process of executing a planning focus, and then I'll be showcasing a small online demo on running a planning focus. Let's move on. So I would like to start with the key points about the planning focus. The first one, it follows a relative estimation technique. That is, we are going to use the estimates from the past sprints or the past stories to estimate future stories. Then mostly it follows a non-linear estimation technique such as Fibonacci sequence. If you want more information about the Fibonacci sequence, what's the difference between a 2-story point and the 3-story point, I'm going to link a video which has a detailed explanation of the Fibonacci sequence. Then this is the iterative process. That is, we are going to iterate the cycle until everybody has the same estimate. Then lastly, it is highly dependent on the team. Everybody should agree for the estimate before we move on to the next user story. Then a small history about planning focus. It was introduced by James Greening in the year 2002, but the idea of planning focus is not something new. Conceptually, it was already been followed by a technique called as wideband Delphi, which was introduced by Rand in 1981. If you are aware of wideband Delphi process, then planning focus is more or less the same. Okay. So here, the planning focus uses a tool and is a set of cards. Which is numbered from 0 to 100, infinite, and we have few other cards. 0 represents an effort which is so small that it can be completed within minutes or in an hour. It doesn't need an estimate for it. That's what the 0 represents. And infinite is a story which is so big that we don't know the estimate for. And question mark is for clarification, and the last one is for a break time. Because planning focus is an iterative process, it keeps on going, and then team member who needs a break can kind of showcase this card and get a break. So based on my experience, any stories that is greater than 8 need to be broken down into smaller stories for a more efficient estimate. Usually, we target to break stories between 1, 2, and 3. Even a story point of 5, we consider it as big. We try to break it into smaller stories so that we can, the team as a whole can efficiently estimate it. So that is all for the playing cards. Let's move on and look into the process of the planning focus. Okay. The first thing that we have to do is we have to invite all the team members to a meeting and then give them the card. So once that is done, the product owner dictates the story to the team. Then the team, all of them get together, discuss the details of the story, how it can be implemented, what are the dependencies, what are the assumptions, what are the risks. So everything they discuss, including the clarifications, they get it clarified so that everybody is aware of the story. Once that is done, the next thing is each and every participant pulls out the card that he thinks that is the right estimate for this particular story, and they keep it on a desk upside down, similar to the poker game wherein we keep it upside down. Once everybody is ready with their estimates, they are going to show the estimates to the entire team. So this will be followed by a team discussion. Only the people who are having bigger estimates or very small, like estimates, under or overestimated people, they usually talk and explain the reason why they went with a very small estimate or a very big estimate for that matter. And the people who is having clarifications, so all of these people, they discuss and try to understand more on the requirements for this story. So once that is done, there will be an iteration. Again, the participants select the card and the process repeats until they come up with the same estimate. Once that is done, the product owner records the estimate against the user story, and then the team moves on to the next story. So this is a very simple process of planning poker estimate. Usually, we will have developers, testers, business analysts, scrum master, and product owner. This is the diversified team that we can see. In addition, we could have an architect, we could have a subject matter expert, and all other people depending upon the project requirement. Move on to the key benefits of planning poker. It's easy to use, as you saw, and no prior experience is required for using the planning poker as such, right? Then here everybody gets a chance to discuss, share their opinion and feedback on the story. So there is a very good healthy discussion happening between the team. And as I said, there is a group discussion and communication is improved within the team. Then finally, we have the story points that is used, and which by itself is having a lot of advantages by its own, and you can check out the advantages in the story link that I'm going to attach to this video. So these are some of the key benefits that you can achieve by using the planning poker. Some of the drawbacks. Obviously, there are drawbacks of using planning poker. The first one is practically, if you see, forceful agreement on estimate, right? Say you have 5 participants, out of which like 4 have come up with an estimate of 3, and 1 is having a different estimate, maybe a 5. So the fifth participant still thinks that he needs 5 story points to complete this, and the remaining 4 has like an estimate of 3. So the cycle goes, but still is not agreeing. In this case, there is no other way, kind of the last participant agrees forcefully against his will, because it is taking a lot of time. We cannot do a number of cycles, and I've seen this in a practical scenario, right? So wherein the other person is forcefully pulled into agreeing that the estimate of the other. So that is one of the drawbacks. And estimation is for the unrelated work. Imagine a business analyst estimating purely a technical stuff. Okay, for example, I want to implement logging in AWS using some entry. So that how the business analyst don't estimate that. So that is glitch in that estimate. So that is one of the drawbacks. Then again, time consuming, since it is an iterative process, we go in cycles, so it's going to take time in getting all the team consensus, making sure everybody understands the requirement, and finally arriving. And finally, this is generally we cannot use it for a very big user story. The better one-way approach is to break the large story into smaller user stories. Okay, let's go ahead and look into a demo of a planning poker. This is going to be a very short demo. I've already prepared the groundwork for it. The tool that I'm going to use is an online tool, and it is called as Pointing Poker. This is the planning poker tool that I was talking about. Let's quickly see how we can estimate using this tool. So John here is our coordinator. He might be a product owner or a scrum master. He's going to start a session. So you can copy this entire link, give to the participants, or join the session. This is Rita here, who is the other participant. She's trying to join the session. Rita, join the session. Then we have I have basically configured all this. We have David here, who is going to be the another participant. Now we have Jessica, who is joining the session by the ID. Okay. Now all are joined. Let's go back and see. The coordinator is able to see all these users have joined. Then he's going to type a story. Once we do this, the other users will be able to see the story. Okay. Then what we have to do is the other users, they have to select a card based on that. They are going to discuss everything, and then they are going to say what is the estimate. 2. Say Rita says 2, David says it's 3, and Jessica says it's 30. Okay. Then you go back, and then what John says is going to, since the coordinator, you can just say show votes. Okay, he is able to see 2, 3, and 13 by these 3 people. But 13 is big. And Jessica is going to explain why he went with the 3, and David is going to explain his, and then again they are going to re-estimate. So now, say everybody says it's 3 and 3 and 3. Then if you come to the John, so he's able to see, and he's going to show the votes, and everybody is having a 3 as consensus has been achieved. Then what we can do is we can, product owner can say 3 for the story, and then we can move on to the next story. With that, we can conclude our planning poker session today. Thank you all for joining. See you in our next video.